Stephen Rucker. Detective Rucker states in his affidavit on January 8, 2016, officers were dispatched to 3200 Port Road in regards to a shooting. Upon their arrival, they found a black male identified as Leonard Bowie lying behind the Bowie grocery store with apparent gunshot wounds to his head. Leonard Bowie was pronounced deceased by the coroner. I, Detective Rucker, was called to the scene along with Lieutenant Hobson and Sergeant Talbot. We spoke to the victim's son, Mike Bowie, who said his father had left the Sunset Strip bar, which he owned, approximately 30 minutes prior to the 911 call. Mike Bowie said he locked the bar, drove home, and found his father lying on the ground, then called 911. Detectives searched the area and located a black and red baseball cap with what looks to be a mask next to a local church that's 1 block north of the Bowie grocery. A further search of the area to the west revealed a pair of white gloves, a unique pattern red and white jacket, a black shirt, a nylon gun holster with an extra magazine pouch. All items were in a northwest path leading away from the scene and started about 150 yards away. All items were collected and sent to the Arkansas State Crime Lab for gunshot residue and DNA comparison. The test results from the lab confirmed gunshot residue on the clothing. A photo of the clothing items recovered at the scene was put on television, newspaper, and social media for assistance from the public in identifying the person seen wearing the items. On January 25th, 2016, 2 witnesses came forward, gave sworn statements stating that on January 7th, 2016, they were playing dominoes when Arron Johnson came to their apartment wearing the clothing that had been shown on the social media. They said he sat with them while they were playing dominoes and that he mentioned hitting a lick. One of the witnesses stated that Arron Johnson carries a Ruger 9mm black and silver handgun. He said he carries the weapon in a cloth-type holster with an extra magazine pouch. One witness said the black male they know as Shep arrived and stated they had to wait till 1 a.m. before going to hit the lick. The witness then said that Shep and Johnson left together. He said a little while later, Arron Johnson came back to the apartment wearing only a tank top, jeans, and red Jordans. He said Johnson was sweating and breathing hard as if he had been running. The witness said Johnson left the apartment. He said the witness said when Johnson left the apartment, he said he had shot a man. The witness swore Arron Johnson's girlfriend, Chevette Martin, who lives in the apartment beside him, told him Arron Johnson told her about the murder. He said she told him Johnson told her Leonard Bowie shot a man, and excuse me. He said she told him, Johnson told her Leonard Bowie took a shot at him, and that's why he had to kill him. He said she told him, Johnson told her she shot him twice in the head, and he took his .38 caliber revolver and wallet. On January 25th, 2016, I made contact with Chevette Martin. She signed consent to search the apartment, and it was searched by the detectives of the Pine Bluff Police Department. Chevette Martin said Johnson was at her apartment the night before. I asked her if there was any guns in the apartment. She replied there's only a BB gun that she keeps under the mattress that belongs to her son. During the search, Sergeant Talley lifted the mattress and found a 12-gauge shotgun. The gun was collected and turned in as found property since Chevette Martin said she did not own the gun. Chevette Martin came to the detective office to be interviewed. Chevette Martin said Johnson never told her anything about the homicide. She denied telling anyone anything about the homicide. She asked if I asked her if she had ever seen Johnson wearing the clothing on social media. She said the hat belonged to Arron Johnson, and we would find her DNA in the hat because she had put it on her head. On January 26, 2016, Detective Oswalt and I went back to the crime scene and conducted a search of the area. Detective Oswalt located a Ruger 9mm handgun, black and silver in color, and that was collected and sent to the crime lab for processing. On January 28, 2016, received a tip that Arron Johnson was hiding in a house in Little Rock. Detective Hobson, Oswald, and I went to Little Rock and met with the detectives from their police department. We went to 2500 West 13th Avenue and received a consent to search from the owner, Tony Shepard. On searching the house, Arron Johnson was located hiding under a bed in the back room. He was arrested and brought to Little Rock Police Department, where Detective Johnson and I attempted to read him his Miranda rights. Johnson stated he wanted a lawyer, and the interview was terminated. Johnson was brought back to Pine Bluff, where he was looked in jail for capital murder and aggravated robbery. The state would request to charge capital murder and aggravated, that the court find probable cause for the offenses of capital murder and aggravated robbery, and that no bond be set.
Mr. Johnson, the court is going to find probable cause to hold you in this matter and will grant the state's request for no bond in this matter. You have a return date back to this court on March 29th of this year at 9 a.m. Do you plan to hire an attorney to represent you in this matter?
Yes, ma'am.
Very good. Okay, and then we have one more matter to discuss. Let's see, I have before me a motion in order to revoke bond. The motion has been filed by the State of Arkansas Prosecuting Attorney's Office. The state has written in part that you were charged by way of information theft by receiving a felony, and you had a bond set in the amount of $2,500 secured. And let's see that and on October 26th of 2015, you were additionally charged by criminal information with aggravated assault on a family or household member and terroristic threatening in violation of Arkansas Code 526-306 and 513-301, both Class D felonies. The state continues on to say, based on the foregoing, they request that your bond in this matter be revoked. Subsequent to that, Judge Dennis entered an order saying upon motion for the state of Arkansas, the court finds that the bond issued in those above matters is and should be hereby revoked, and that's been signed by Circuit Judge Dennis, okay? So, you may return to your seat.